Hello and welcome to another episode of Tiva Drive. A very exciting episode indeed, because we are driving this 2025 Mercedes E53AMG plug-in hybrid. It's a top-of-the-line E-Class as it stands right now. It is a plug-in hybrid equipped with the 28 kilowatt-hour battery. That's total about 21 kilowatt-hours usable. A total of 577 horsepower, or with the optional race start option, you can get up to 605 horsepower. The acceleration, the rated acceleration is about 4 seconds, 0 to 100 without the race start, and with the race start it's about 3.5 seconds. The rated range on the electric mode is 69 kilometers, and we'll tell you all about the results of our testing and how far we were able to drive in this vehicle. This vehicle is positioned perfectly between the two BMWs we tested previously. First of all, the BMW 550e and also M5. So it's more expensive than the 550e, but it's cheaper than the M5. The BMWs basically have a slightly smaller battery with about 18 kilowatt hours usable, and their rated range is only about 49 kilometers, where here you have 69 kilometers. So let's give you a walk around the vehicle, show you the front seat space and the rear seat space. This vehicle, you can tell right away that it's AMG, because first of all, there's an AMG logo. This vehicle is equipped with a backlit grille. We post a lot of pictures at night on our Facebook page. Of course, LED headlamps. And then in front, instead of the Mercedes logo here, it has a Falterbach AMG logo that shows you that this is an AMG purpose-built vehicle. When you look from the side now, you will see the wonderful 21-inch tires. They are staggered. Here on the side you see turbo hybrid logo that shows you that this is a hybrid. So the car is equipped with a straight 6 3-liter turbo engine, which gives you about 477 horsepower, plus the electric motor position between the transmission and the engine, which gives you an additional 160 horsepower or so, for a total of 577 or 605 with the race start. It's called a dynamic option, which costs about $4,000. To open the car, as with all the other Mercedes cars, you have to swipe it. The handles will present themselves. At night you will see that the logo is being projected onto the ground below. One of the big advantages in our view over the BMWs is an opening sunroof. We love that option. We drove quite a lot this week with open sunroof, because it's a late summer, we're in August, and the weather was perfect for driving with an open sunroof, getting some vitamin D and suntan. So this one here is actually, as you see it, the car starts at 105,000. This one here, it's edition 1 package, which is cost about 20 grand. And this car is stuffed with about 30 grand worth of options. And those yellow seat belts are one of them. You see the yellow AMG logo here, yellow seat belts, etc. However, surprisingly enough, for over 130 grand, you still are missing a few things that are optional. For example, no head-up display. Number one, no soft close. So as you can see, it's just a regular close. Soft close is actually an option, so you have to just normally close it. And another thing that's optional, believe it or not, is the rear sunshades. It's optional. You have to pay extra to have a manual sunshade here in the back, and the electric sunshade for the rear window as well. Okay, so let me jump in. The Burmester sound system here it's an upgrade. It's a 4D sound. So it turns out that both BMW and Mercedes are offering the 4D sound, which basically vibrates into your kidneys. We hate that. We've never used it, but it's there. So apparently both BMW, I guess it's maybe spreading to all the other manufacturers as well, but both BMW and Mercedes offer this 4D sound system, which basically vibrates the seats in your back. Okay, so let me jump in. You can see the edition 1 on the mats, floor mats here. That's a 20 grand option. Let's see. And the other thing we have to mention that's again is optional. If you want better acceleration and more power, you have to buy the dynamic package, which costs about $4,000 to get that 3.5 second acceleration. So I am now in a comfortable position. for driving. That's how I drove this past week. Let me just jump in the back and show you the rear space. We have to tell you that the space in the back is fairly limited. So we had a situation when my son, who is 6'5", got into the rear seat where I'm sitting right now. So he had to move the seat forward, and my wife, who was sitting in the front seat, got claustrophobic because she had to push the seat forward so far that she felt claustrophobic. So the rear space here, as you can see, not quite spectacular. Headroom is good. I'm not touching the ceiling here, but the leg room is when you're sitting behind a tall person. I'm 190 centimeters or 6'3". Another person in the back, you would have to probably, if you want to have another passenger sitting behind you, a tall passenger, you may have to move your seat forward into not an ideal position. Okay, let us show you the trunk space. All right, here again you see the AMG logo in the back and the red E53. I'm not sure why it's red. I guess all AMGs love to be red. And no mention of this being a hybrid anywhere on the back. You can recognize this being an AMG by the quad pipes in the back. And because this is a 53, we have to imagine that they will probably introduce a 63 model. However, the 63s are strictly performance oriented, and they tend to have, even though they're hybrids, they tend to have much smaller battery. This one is particularly big. As we mentioned, 28 kilowatt hours gross, 21, over 21 net. It is a power gate, lift gate. There is no more space under the trunk. It's not very deep. And the seats, they do fold down 40, 20, 40. So we were transporting some long articles, and the way you'd fold down the seats, they are spring loaded, but the buttons are here for the left seat and the button here for the right seat. So you can fold them down if you're transporting some long articles, but it's not a very large trunk at all. Okay, now we have to mention that both the M5 and the 550e and the i5 BMW are available in the wagons, and even this E53AMG in Europe, unfortunately, is available in wagon, but not for our market for some reason. I think it's a bad decision by BMW and by Mercedes. Now, BMW does offer M5 wagon, but not the i5 and not the 550e, which is very unfortunate indeed. In the end, we'll tell you what would be our ideal choice from those three cars, which are close competitors. We have also test-driven Panamera plug-in hybrid, but that car is substantially more expensive, so we won't really mention it in this comparison. Okay, so that's about it for the walk around. Let us show you actually one last very important difference between Mercedes and BMW, and that is that you have a DC charging here. So DC charging up to 60 kilowatts, which allowed us to really stretch those electric miles during our test. All right, so that's about it. Now we can jump in, launch the car for you, and give you the results of our testing. Okay, so here we are. Before we show you the interior and all the options, we're gonna just launch the car for you. This car doesn't have the race start or dynamic package, so it's 4 seconds 0 to 100. Does not have the launch mode. It only has the Sport Plus mode. If you have the dynamic package with the race start, there's one more move to the right where it becomes a race start, and then you launch it by pressing the brake pedal and then flooring the accelerator and letting go of the pedal. So this car is not equipped with it, so we're just gonna launch it without the race start to show you what the 4 seconds 0 to 100 sounds like and feels like in this E53AMG with only 577 horsepower instead of the upgraded 604. Okay, so basically we're just gonna launch it, then we'll show you what it sounds like from the outside. The straight 6 engine, you can actually hear it, and in Sport Plus it's much louder than in all the other modes. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we are inside a 2025 Mercedes E53 AMG plug-in hybrid, of course. That's why we're testing it. And we want to tell you about the results of our testing. We want to show you the screens because some of the screens are specific to only the AMG models. So first of all, the mode button here. This is the one, the modes you change it with the Manettino on the right. The Manettino on the left is for suspension and other settings, so we won't go through that because it would take too long, but the modes are all here. So basically right now we're in electric. There's one below it, which is the B mode, battery hold. Then you have electric, comfort, then you have sport, and you can hear the engine coming on. And of course, Sport Plus gets even louder. The straight 6 3 liters turbo. And then normally there's one more mode if you have the dynamic package with the race start. There's one further to the right, but this car does not have that $4,000 package option. In terms of the screens here, again, the screens are slightly different than the other Mercedes cars. By the way, this car is equipped with a super screen, not hyper screen. The hyper screen is reserved for the EQ cars, and it's just one flat screen, which basically combines three computer screens. Here they call it a super screen because you have these two, including the passenger screen and a separate dashboard here in front of you. So let us show you the options here, and you change your screens basically here, up and down. You have different modes of temperature, you have the maps, you have your entertainment, attention assist, consumption, eco display, from reset and from start. And then you can change it. So we have in classic, we have navigation, assistance, service, and if we go to the left, we have sport. So like the classic you saw, let's show you the sport. This is the sport display. Then you have the super sport display. That's what it looks like. And then one more, and this is the track race, which we just showed you. We were on it, showing the G-forces, etc., etc. We just launched the car twice for you, inside and outside, to show you what it looks like, but we're gonna keep it in electric mode for the purpose of this review because it's gonna be quieter, even though it's nice to hear the roar of this straight six, but we're gonna keep it in electric. So we're gonna go back to the classic, which we like the best because we keep an eye on the consumption as well, and let's go back to electric. There we go, back in electric. And we're good. And then here is basically you have your charge screen. Now, we have to tell you that the Mercedes does not allow you to fast charge automatically. It's just listening to us because we mentioned the M name and it's listening to us right now, so it probably will try and respond. But anyways, they won't allow you to fast charge unless you press on this button here. So right now it's fast charging. Otherwise it's limited to 20 kilowatts level 2. For fast charging, you have to, every time you start the car, you have to press the fast charging to allow 60 kilowatts fast charging. And why is that? They are trying to protect the battery. And that's why you have to activate it every single time you start the car. Other than that, the screens, all the rest of them are pretty much the same as in all the other Mercedes cars we tested, so we won't go over that. So let's take you for a quick spin and tell you about the exciting results of our testing. So here we go. Of course, you have the auto hold.
Could you repeat your input, please?
Cancel. Cancel. Okay, I think it's canceled. Again, during our videos, we can never mention the brand name because the cars are listening, and they kind of, as soon as they hear the brand name, they try and respond. Okay, so here we go. The car with its 577 standard, 604 optional horsepower, equipped with 28 kilowatt hour, roughly 28 kilowatt hour gross, 21, just over 21 net. Rated range 69 kilometers, but we were able to do actually quite a bit more than that. So we did two tests, one in hypermile mode with windows open, no climate, doing 90 kilometers max on Highway 27 northbound. And we got a consumption of just around 23, just over 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which we thought was quite good. And we did manage to drive 90 kilometers in pure electric. So basically we drove from Toronto to Barrie to the fast charging station on Mapleview, Electrify Canada. We set the navigation for it. Unfortunately, all fours were occupied. This was Friday before like a summer weekend. All stations were busy. So we did attempt another one. We went to Ivy nearby at the en route in Barrie. And again, all four were occupied. And not only that, but two of them were actually broken. That en route did not upgrade their IV chargers to the comparo. That's still the old ones, unlike the southbound 400 in Innisfil, which has upgraded. And so half of them were broken. And of course, we just gave up. We could have gone to some other locations, but we gave up. We started driving in hybrid mode, and we arrived at our destinations 150 kilometers later with an average consumption of 3.3 liters per 100 kilometers, which is basically second best after only the Toyota Prius Prime. Imagine that. This 600 horsepower beast plug-in hybrid Mercedes is almost as efficient as the Toyota Prius Prime. That's really very impressive. Of course, we love the fact that you can DC charge it if you want to. Otherwise, you keep driving, and it appears to be still very, very efficient. And then on the way back, we did manage to drive in all electric all the way from Georgian Bay to Toronto. We stopped halfway at the Ivy at Innisfil. We got to 60 kilowatts of power right away. We stopped for about 20 minutes. We topped up from 10 to 100% in about 22 minutes. All the pictures are on Facebook. You can check it out. So we did manage to drive about 75 kilometers on the highway using the climate and all, which is pretty impressive. So we topped it up, and then we kept driving to Toronto, a total of over 155 kilometers, and we had about 8 kilometers left after the top up. And we had an average consumption also of just over 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So this car there's no need to hypermile it, because you might as well drive it on the highway, regular following traffic in middle to left lane speed with the climate on, and it's as efficient as the hypermile. So it's pointless to hypermile it. That's quite impressive. And the fact that you can fast charge it, you can basically make it to the cottage country without using any gas, which we have just proven. So it's an amazing vehicle. Now, compared to the BMW vehicles, again, both the 550e and the M5 have slightly smaller batteries, rated range of about 49, so 20 kilometers less. In terms of this battery size, just roughly around 18 and change kilowatt hours versus 21 and change here, so about 3 kilowatt hours less and 20 kilometers less EV range. Also, the BMWs have a fixed glass roof, both the 550e and the M5 and the i5. All three of them have fixed glass roof, unfortunately. And so basically, it's one of our things that we prefer. So because of it, I'd say because of the sunroof, which is a silly maybe for some people, and of the fast charging option, which BMW doesn't offer, this would be our vehicle of choice. The only advantage on the BMW, if you go to the M5, you can have it in a wagon. Unfortunately, the E53AMG is not sold in North America in its wagon version. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is not, which is quite unfortunate. So advantage BMW M5, but only the M5 is available as a wagon. Neither the 550e nor the i5 are available as wagons for some reason, which is again quite unfortunate. So all in all, we can just show you quickly the auto steer. The car is equipped with auto steer. You activate it by pressing button 1, button 2, set the speed for highway speed. It's auto steer, and it also has auto lane change, so which we'll demonstrate, but it's not hands-free. You have to keep your hands on the steering wheel. in order to basically use this auto steer system. And auto lane change works only on highways, the 400 series highways. It won't work on smaller roads. So we'll try and demonstrate if we can. We're approaching a highway exit, and we'll see if it's gonna work. Of course, somebody's gonna try and cut in front of us, as usual. People are completely lost in the cities. There we go, let's resume, and let's see if we can change it. There we go. Lane change to the right, and the car is changing the lane all by itself. Actually, you can just do the soft touch, not the hard touch, but it did the lane change all by itself. But again, you have to keep holding the the steering wheel at all times. So we're gonna change it back to the left, and it's again had to help it a bit because it's a lot of traffic here happening on the Gardner today, but we're gonna get off now. And so yes, so to resume and to summarize our comparison, this car priced from about 105 versus the BMW 550e priced from 84 versus the M5 priced at 135. So it's $20,000 more than the 550e, but it's 30 grand less than the M5. So I think it's a perfect sweet spot between these two cars. We're not gonna mention the Panamera e-hybrid because it's available in 3 different versions, but even the base version is more expensive than this. So Mercedes actually normally... Okay, so we ran out of space on our device, so we have to summarize it again for you. So we mentioned the comparison with BMW 550 and M5. We mentioned that the Porsche Panamera e-hybrid is way more expensive, so we didn't even mention it in this comparison. And of course, Audi does not sell A6 here, only as an A6 e-tron, pure electric, no plug-in hybrids for now. With the next generation of A6, when they launch it, there's an A5, which again is sold as a plug-in hybrid, but only in Europe, not in here. So when the A6 comes out in the new generation, maybe there's a hope that it'll come as a plug-in hybrid, but for now, even the Q5, the new Q5, which was just launched, does not, it's not sold here as a plug-in hybrid, even though it's an amazing plug-in hybrid, a plug-in hybrid system with a large battery. So that's about it for the it's basically it for the our review. There's a guy in a 5 Series BMW waving at us, giving a thumbs up to the E53AMG, but we have to go. Thank you for watching. Thank you to our sponsor, Condos and Castles Realty Inc. You can find them at www.condosandcastles.com. And thank you for watching. See you at the next review.